So, good morning, all of you. Shanmukh sir, can you make me co-host? So we shall start for today. I had some problem with my computer due to some shutdown problem. So it ate my entire RAM completely, so it could not start the meeting immediately. I'm sorry for the delay. So today we will go to the new topic called sets after the lists. And after we finish the sets, we also have a practice section on the sets. Sorry, I'm not looking at you because I need to concentrate on this. We are facing the difficulty of telling both online and offline. Right. If we begin with this, let me share the screen so that we can have the sets discussion. So, as I told you, set is one of the class that we have. Do you want to project it? I don't know whether this actually helps me because it is zooming up. So that is the reason you can look into the mobiles if you have that. Okay. Right. So earlier we have discussed about list. To have an empty list, we used to have L is equal to like this. Okay. So if this is of the form, it is creating an empty list. Okay. If this is the case of empty list, then if somebody says when you want to create a set, I say that set appears in a braces form. So if it is appearing in a brace form, if for example, if I try to declare S is equal to like this, it never say I have created an empty set, but it says I have created an empty dictionary. So that is the difference between this creation of the list and the set. So if you can see, are you all able to see in the mobiles? Okay. Right. If you can see this, let us have a practice in this particular Python 1 interpreter. So you can see that I declare LST list as such, and I find out what is the type of this LST. Now, if this is the case, it says that, okay, I have a type called class list. But now, if I have gone through this one, like for example, ST is a set, I'm thinking that I'm creating an empty set here. Now, if this is the case, when I said that type of ST, now see what it has given. What is the class it belonging to? Dictionary, right? So instead of this, so dictionary will only be created with the open braces. So instead of this, you can go for st is equal to set. So this is the way you declare an empty set in our Python. You can say st is equal to set function, which declares. Now you can see how it happens. Type of st. Now you can see that the class is represented as the set. So ST is an object, not ST is an object, but we are telling that a memory object has already been declared, which is named after ST, and we have named this particular object as the class set. So I will just show you now. If this is the case I have told about the set, you can see that Now a set area will be declared. Maybe some set area will be declared which is empty, nothing is filled with. And it is referred by a name called ST. Maybe there is some location 1100, and in this the entire set has been located and it is named after ST. So now you will tell that this particular area is called object. This particular area is called object of a class called set. This particular area is called an object of a class called set. So this object is named after ST, like how I have represented earlier. Like for example, I am a body. So when I am born, it is just called a baby. That means a collection of organs, some shape is there. Nobody names me. We have a naming ceremony later on. The same thing happens here. We are naming this particular object here, which is an area that is occupying in the memory, which we are naming after a name called ST. So if somebody asks that ST is not an object of a class called set, but you need to say the area which is occupying as set is called the object of a class called set. But this object is named after a name called ST. So that's how you need to refer. I don't always agree that ST is itself an object. ST is just a reference variable, which is referring to an object, that means which is occupying a memory area and is belonging to the class called set. So now let us see how a set will be declared. So if you want to declare a set, you can see on the top right corner, I can say ST is equal to like this 1, 2, 3, 4. I can declare with the numbers. I can say ST is equal to KR with characters. I can also declare a set ST with Kranti, Kiran, like this, so a string. I can also declare an ST with tuple 1, 2, 3. Have I told you the example for tuple? What is a tuple? No, haven't I said that? Okay, I will tell the example of also the tuple. Like this, I can declare, right? Now see, for the online people, am I audible to you? Is it fine? Can anybody say yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Am I audible to them or not?
Yes, sir. Audible,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Audible, sir.
Online people, anybody is there? Oh, somebody has
Yes,
put it in chat. Yes, sir. Okay, very good. I'm in mute, I think. Okay. Now, if this is the case, then we will see what we can do. Have we said that in a list we can do anything? We can just put any of this. For example, I will say L is equal to. I have just said. Have you logged in? Okay. L is equal to. I can say 1, 2, 3. 1 to 4. What is this particular one which I have just declared in L? What is this list called? Sublist, right? We can declare a sublist there. We can declare a sublist. We can also write the list like this. L is equal to, I can include a number, I can include a character, I can include a name, and I can also include a sublist. I can also include a set also, 2, 3, 4, and I can include maybe a tuple, 4, 5, 6. See how the tuple actually appears. Anyway, we will go into the tuple, then I will discuss in deep about what is a tuple. Now you can see I can include a number, a character, a string, a sublist, a subset, and a subtuple. Okay. Now if you just print it, okay, it is printing fine. But now let us go to set. If for example our set S is equal to, I am trying to declare 1, 2, 3. Now let us see whether it is legal or not. It is legal, it is accepting, and it is printing 1, 2, 3 as a set. Now let us go for S is equal to characters. So A, B are some characters which I have kept in the set. It is also legal, it is accepting. So it is printing A, comma B, right? Now I want to print some strings also into the set. So I will say Kranti, Kiran. So these are some strings I am keeping. Right. I also got this set. Have you seen what is the difference between that? You see, I will now write something like L is equal to the same thing. Kranti, Kiran. Now, what is my L actually now? L belongs to the class called
List.
list, right? When you say like this, what has happened? What is the difference between the set and the list? Have you found out? It is not reversed actually. Set is not in a sequential order. So how you have given in the memory, set doesn't consist of that. The first and the foremost thing that people have to know is that set don't have any index numbers. Because we have index numbers in the list, Kranti belongs to the index 0 and Kiran belongs to index 1. So even when you are trying to print on the screen, the indexes should be iterable. That means you print from 0 to n indexes. So always it will be in the same order, Kranti, Kiran, and so whatever it might be. But set have no indexes. It is random arrangement of some elements in the memory. We don't have ascending order, we don't have descending order, and we only have something like elements fixed in the memory. They don't even have the indexes. So it tries to print whatever it wants. There is no order of printing. So you cannot expect the order of you give in the input. So if I have given Krantikiran Mandava, I cannot expect the order to be Krantikiran Mandava. It might be Mandava Kiran Kranti, it might be Kiran Kranti Mandava, and so on. It might depend on how it is trying to present. Right? So this is the difference between the first difference between list and the set you can note down. The first difference is set do not have any indexes and list has indexes. Set can present the values in a random fashion, but list will present in the order of indexes itself, right? So in the order of how you give the input, list always presents in the same order, but set doesn't give like that. Okay, this is the first two differences that we have found out. Now the other difference, let me go in. So until now, both set and list are equal at accepting numbers. They are equal at accepting characters. They are equal at accepting strings. So they are both list and set are accepting 1, 2, 3. Both list and set are accepting ABC. Both list and set are accepting Kranti, Kiran, something like strings. Now let us see the other way. Now let us see that whether the set can occupy something. Okay, S is equal to, are you able to see the downside part which I am typing? Fine, no? Okay. Okay, now I will say I am adding a sub list. So numbers, characters, strings are okay. Now I am trying to add a sub list in the set. 1, 2, 3. What it says? Unhashable type. Unhashable type called list. I will say what is unhashable later on, but you now need to remember that one. But you see, L will accept it. You see here, L is equal to a sub list 1, 2, 3 will be accepted in the list. It is accepting, but there is an error there, right? Now, okay, maybe set is differing with the list. Let us think that set is having a quarrel with the list. It doesn't accept any sublists. Now let us accept at least a set, a subset of a set. Okay, let us see. S is equal to 1, 2, 3. It also says unhashable type set. Have you observed that? So it says that set cannot even accept a set, but list can accept it. See, I will prove that list will accept it. L is equal to, I'm opening a list, now creating a subset in a list. Yes, it is accepting and printing also. So set is not accepting a list as an element. Set is not accepting a set as an element. Now let us see the other way. Let us go for tuple, the other data type that we have. So in the tuple, I am writing 1, 2, 3. Yes, it is accepting. There is no error in the tuple, right? So if you are trying to print S, it is printing here. What it is printing? The tuple 1, 2, and 3. Now, have you observed what is the difference between the other difference between list and the set? What are the elements list is accepting?
List accepts a set, but a set does not accept a list.
Yes, that's correct. And also you can observe that set is not accepting list and a set. It is accepting a number, it is accepting a character, it is accepting a string, and it is also accepting a tuple. Now let's go for mutable and immutability. If you understand mutable and immutability a little bit, then I will give you the material which I have written online. You can participate in that later on. You can have an interactive session. If you type in Google, it will come anyway. That I have prepared that material as an interactive session for mutable and immutability. Now let us consider what is mutable and immutability. Just a minute. Right. What is mutable and what is immutable? So mutability in the sense that can be changed, that can be changed. So if you are a dynamic person, your character always changes, then you are a mutable person. You can be easily motivated by somebody else. So you are strong at one point of time. If somebody says that it is wrong, it is only correct, then you will immediately change. So it is mutability. So something that we change in the memory is called mutable memory, right? The other one is called immutability. That is, cannot be changed. It cannot be changed. So let us explain what are the things that can be changed and what are the things that cannot be changed. Okay. Now let us consider a small example. I will exit and start it again. Okay. Now you see, I'm giving A is equal to 6. What is the ID of A? It is 45484306556. Now tell me, is this ID belonging to A or is this ID belonging to 6?
Belonging to 6.
It belongs to 6. Because I always told that what is the value that is occupying the memory is only called the object. A is only name for that. So when A is referring to 6, then A is having that address. If, for example, Kranti is my name, so if somebody might ask what is the address of Kranti will be there. Suddenly, if I change my name to some Subbarao, now Kranti will not be pointing to that address, right? Subbarao will be pointing to that. So the name doesn't depend on the addresses, but address is only related to the value. So if the name is pointing to the value, that name is also showing that same address in which the value is stored. Now consider a small thing. If I write A is equal to 7, now will A have the same ID or it will change? It is changing. Let us see the ID of A. It is changing. Now if I find ID of 6, if it remains the same, that will be very helpful to us. Yes, it remains the same. Now I want to ask you a question now. If I am telling A is equal to 6, actually this is a little bit different from C programming. In C programming, a variable is always allocated a memory first. So a memory address is always related to a variable, that means a name. Then the values will be created. What happens in C program, I will just show you now. For example, if I declare some int A is equal to 6, right? If this is the case, int A is equal to 6. This A is related to a memory initially, and then 6 will be placed in that. Now, later on, if I say A is equal to 7, what happens is this memory.
Sir, we are not able to hear you.
You're not audible.
First. 1 second, I will come back. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The screen visible?
Yes, yes, sir.
So now let us see what happens. So if you have declared something like int a is equal to 6 and you have a is equal to 7, in this case, now you can see that a is actually allocated. So what happens in C program is that if you declare int a, the compiler itself sees that I have to create a memory of 4 bytes, because in C programming, an integer value occupies 4 bytes of memory. So it creates 4 bytes of memory beforehand. It doesn't create any value here. You see, we are declaring in C, but we are defining in Python. We are not declaring anything. We are defining in Python, but in C we have declarations and then definitions. Why we need declarations is because the compiler expects to create memory beforehand. It sees that this C program handles this much of memory, it creates all the memory beforehand, and then it will do. For example, let us see. In this class, if you are 60 people joining, if after you join, I built a house, this is called Python. A house in the sense, a classroom. This is called Python. So it depends on what is the value that is given and how many people are there. But before you join here, if I expect that you might be joining and build a classroom beforehand, before you join the college, then this is called C programming. So the memory is built beforehand before you give the values into that. So now A is related to a memory, and that memory might be named as 1110. Somebody please switch off your mic. Okay. So in this case, what happens is when I say A is equal to 6, that 6 is placed in the memory which is associated with A. Now, if I say next sentence is A is equal to 7, now you can see that this 6 will be rubbed and 7 will be placed here. Let us try to experiment it in C programming so that you will understand a little bit. Let us take this Python visualizer and go to C programming if possible. Okay. This is where I am creating now. You see, int, okay, this is caps. Okay, is my zoom visible? Okay, so I will say int a. Now see, printf percentage d, sorry, percentage u I will say because I want to find out address. Yeah, printf. See, a confusion between this one. Okay, right? Now let us see what will happen. I did not give any value to a. I only set int a, and now I am finding the address of a, the address related to a. Now let us see what will happen if you try to execute it. It is trying to compile and taking some time. Yeah, you can see here. Have you seen that in the stack memory that A is already associated with some memory and it is called int. So already a memory is created in that. Now if you find out the address, see the address has been given as 4278193116. Okay. Now let us consider giving a value into it. Now I will say A is equal to 7. Now A is equal to 7. Okay, let us come to our example. A is equal to 6. 6, right? Now let us see what will happen. You try to execute this. Just bear for a few seconds. Yeah. Now you see, A is already given a memory before value is given. The reason is we already said int A. During compilation time itself, the compiler goes through each line and allocates what are the memories that are required. Now you are executing it, you are not compiling it. In Python, every line will be compiled at a time and then interpreted, right? But in C programming, the compilation is done first and then the execution starts. During compilation itself, the memory has been given in C. So A is allocated a memory. The value is not related to the memory. Now here the variable is related to the memory. The reference variable is related to the memory, you see there. So the address is also related to A. Now you see, now after executing, the 6 is placed in that. You can see there. The 6 is placed in that. And now let us find out the address. The address is 4278193116. Okay, right. Now let us go for the different one. Edit this code. Now I will change it like a is equal to 7, right? A is equal to 7. I will write down something like, copy. After a is equal to 6, I will print the A's address. After a is equal to 7, I will also print the A's address. Now what happens? Let us check out. Do you expect the same address? Yes, it should be same address.
Yes.
Because A doesn't depend on the value here. A is related to a memory. So 6 is there, the address is, the 7 is placed, and you can see the address is same. Beside that it has been printed. I'm sorry that I need to print it like this. Then you will understand. Actually, it is a server, right? That is the reason why the compilation takes some time. Okay. Now you see, it is happening like that. 6, and in the same place the 7 has been changed, and both addresses are the same, right? Now let us consider Python. Now let us go for Python. Let us see. In Python also the same position will be changed, but the address might change. You need to think about that. Let us see. If we go to Python, what will happen? So in Python, there is no concept of declaration. You only give the value directly. And now you print the ID of A. ID of A. Next, I will give B is equal to 7 and print ID of B. If same address is given, that is very blunder, I hope. Because he might be saving the memory. But actually it should be different address. That's what we expect. Let us see. Okay. ID of A is this. B is changed. Yeah. Yes. Have you found out the address is different there? See, I think ID of A is equal to 7. I'm sorry.
A is equals to yes.
Let us check it now. But still I expect different address. I don't agree if the same address is given. Yeah, different address, right? So that means what happens here is 6 is placed in some memory, A is pointing to that address. 7 is placed in some memory, A is pointing to that address, but 6 is not rubbed and 7 is replaced there. Have you understood it? 6 is not replaced with 7, but 7 is having another memory. So integers in Python are immutable. You cannot rub 6 and replace it with 7. So integers in Python are immutable, but integers in C programming are mutable because you can change the memory location. Okay, one thing we have declared. So integer and float are both immutable. Let us see the characters also. If I give A is equal to some K as a character, R as a character. Now let us try to execute this. We have K, ID. You are having the different address. So characters in C are mutable, but characters in Python are immutable. Immutable, right? Okay, let us go with another one. A string. Kranti. I just change a little bit without I am writing. Right? Now let us see. So different addresses. So strings are also immutable. That means if you are having a memory for a value and you are unable to erase it and replace it with something, and if you are trying to create a new memory for another value, then that value is always called immutable, right? That value is always called immutable. That cannot be changeable. You can only create a new one, but you cannot replace it with anything else. Like what example I have shown you now. Now coming back, let us take a list now. Let us take a list. L is equal to 1, 2, 3 is a list I have created. Now I will find the ID of L. Right? Now later on I said L dot append of 4. So I'm trying to append 4 into the list. I think you remember append. You're adding something into the list. Now, if this is the case, you see, if I'm changing something, I will say ID of L. Now, let us find out what is this. 1, 2, 3. ID of L is ending with 896. 4 is added. What is the address for that L? You have the same address. So you are changing the memory. So L, the list is called mutable. That means it can be changeable in the same address. I hope you remember now that we have discussed about the list as changeable list. Set can also be changeable. That's why you can add. I will tell you what are the functions to add and remove everything. So you can remove, you can add, you can replace in a set. The same thing happens with the list. So set and list are both changeable and hence they are declared as mutable. Okay. Now consider a small thing. Now let us take tuple. 1, 2, 3. It's a tuple. Okay. So I'm creating a tuple with parenthesis. Have you seen the difference between the brackets, the parenthesis here? Now I am finding out L. So instead of L, I will say T. And I want to just write T is equal to, before going to the tuples function, I am writing like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 is common, but I'm just adding 4 there. But now let us see what is the ID for that. Oh, I am sorry. I need to find out ID of T. Now let us check. So T is this, memory is different, 4 is added, but what is the memory? The ID is having different. So 1, 2, 3 is one tuple that is having different memory, 1, 2, 3, 4, even though it looks like 4 is added at the back like list, but still it is having different memory. So what happens is the whole 1, 2, 3 will be copied into another location and 4 is now added. Now do we agree that the old 1, 2, 3 is removed? Let us find out that one also. Whether it is removed because of garbage collection or it is in the same location. Let us find out. Print ID of 1, 2, 3. I am finding the tuples ID. So without giving that variable name, I am giving the directly a tuple because we have changed the variable to another location. Let us see. 4 is added. It is different. Okay. Now because of garbage collection, I think that 1, 2, 3 has been removed and again it is created in different location. So anyway, now you can declare that tuple is immutable. Now I am telling that set will accept a number, set will accept a character, set will accept a string, set will accept a tuple. Now set is not accepting list and set inside it. Now can you define something? What is a set? Set is a collection of elements which are immutable. It can only store the elements which are immutable. It cannot store the elements which are mutable. That is the reason why it cannot store list, why it cannot store a set itself, right? A set can store only an immutable integer, an immutable float, an immutable character, and an immutable tuple, and an immutable string. It cannot store a mutable list. It cannot store a mutable set itself. So this is a simple definition for set. So I hope you will remember this for your coding. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the reason is sometimes, for example, if you write the same code in VS Code, that 1, 2, 3 will be showing the same ID as before, right? But here what happens is he wants to save his own memory. So that is the reason he is invoking the garbage collection. Once the T, which is pointing to 1, 2, 3 is pointing to a new value 1, 2, 3, 4, that 1, 2, 3 has been removed. And at the last, when you're trying to print ID of 1, 2, 3, a new 1, 2, 3 tuple is created and a new memory is allocated to it. I hope you understand.
That is not specific to 1, 2, 3. The ID will be varying every time.
The ID is specific to 1, 2, 3 because 1, 2, 3 is a value, right? So if 1, 2, 3 is created in some memory location, that memory location's ID will be related to 1, 2, 3. It is not related to T actually. T is just pointing to that address. Okay. Right. Now let us go for, yeah, I have a chart message. So set is itself mutable and stores immutable variables. Yes, Shashank, that's correct. Set is mutable in which the elements can be changed, but it can only store immutable variables. Shashank, I hope I answered your question. Okay. Right. Now let us go with the functions of sets. Okay. Now how a set will be added, let us see. Now I say set is equal to like this. Now let us see what is an empty set that will be created. You can see a set is created and it is pointing to the empty set. So memory is created and it is pointed by ST is a name, but nothing is placed inside it. Okay, if you try to place something like ST is equal to 1, 2, 3, 50, 20, 30, see how it will be arranged. You will be surprised to see the arrangement in that. How it is arranged? Is there any index number that you are finding like a list? See, I will also show you how a list will be declared. So if I say the same numbers for the list, 1, 2, 3, 50, 20, and 30, let us see how the list will be in the memory. This is set and this is list. List is having index numbers for each value associated with them. But set is not having any index numbers. It is just a bunch of collection of elements. That's all. Random elements, random arrangement. You cannot say they are ascending or descending or in a sequence. You cannot say they are in a sequence, but they say that it is only a bunch of collection of elements. Okay, a bunch of elements. That's all. Now, you can remove a set. You can remove a set. You can say some list, some element can be removed. You can say st dot remove of some 3. Let us find out what will happen. Set has been created and is the 3 removed? Have you seen in the memory? The 3 has been removed and the elements have been arranged again. Okay, simply. Now let us go with, let us have multiple removals. What error it is giving?
It takes only one argument.
Yeah, it takes only one thing and you are giving 2 arguments. So one argument should be given. And coming back to here, let us say that I am trying to remove 4. I am trying to remove 4. Now, if I am trying to remove 4, let's see what will happen.
Error.
Gives me the key error. That means the particular key is not present. In a set, everything is considered as a key, not an element. You remember that. Elements are only a term used for the values that are stored in the list. I'm telling it again. Element is a term used only for the values present in the list. But here we talk about the values as keys. Now I will tell you what is the importance of it when you come to dictionaries. What is the key value pair? But remember, in set, every value is called a key. That is why it is saying key error. In the list, it says that element is not present. But here it says a key error. Now, if somebody asks me, sir, by mistake, I am trying to remove a particular key which is not there in the set. Okay, పొరపాటున remove చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నాను నేను. But if it gives me an error and stops executing the code, because if an error comes, the code will not continue to execute. Then what is the alternative? In list, we have some count or something, right? We find that the count of a variable, an element should always be greater than 0. Then only we will remove that element. Otherwise, we will say, okay, the element is not present and we will continue with the code. Then what is there here? There is no count function here. So there is one function that helps you really regarding this. Let us see. The function is called discard. Now let us see what will happen with the discard function. Discard function also works the same way, but it is slightly different, you see. That's all, finished. It sees that 4 is not there. and it is trying to continue the execution of code. Okay, I will try to print something so that you will understand the execution of code. End of the program, right? Now see, the discard sees that 4 is not present in the set, so I cannot delete it. So I will just leave it away and go to the next line, simply the 8th line, and print the end of the program onto the screen. But now you consider the same remove. What will happen to remove?
Key error.
Yes, it will give a key error there itself and stops executing. So if you really want an error, you can use remove function. If you don't want an error and continue execution of the code, you can use a function called discard. Okay, right. Now let us see how to add something in the memory of a set. I want to add something. You can say st.add of 100. Let us say I will add 100 and execute it. So we have a set that is created with 1, 2, 3, 50, 20, 30, and now 100 has also been added into that. Okay, 100 has also been added into that. So in this way you can add, and in this way you can remove. And we have also another one that is called pop. And what is the difference between list pop and set pop is, list pop holds a parameter. It becomes a type 2 function. What is a type 2 function? Function with parameter and doesn't have
Without
a
return.
return value, right? It's just removing it from the memory. It is not giving it, it is not returning anything. It's just removing it from the memory. And can I ask you, what is the parameter that it holds? Is it index or the element itself?
Element.
Okay,
Index, sir.
because it has index, we can pop using index. But pop can also have no indexes given. But what is the default index if you don't give anything as a parameter?
-1.
-1. That means the last element. The index -1 is always the last element. If in this case 1, 2, 3, 50, 20, 30, if it is the list, then what is the -1 index element? 30. 30 will be removed, right? So now in pop, in set doesn't contain any parameters. Let us see what will happen now. The elements are actually randomly arranged. There is no first element and there is no last element. It only randomly arranges. So let us see what it is removing actually. 1 it is removing, you see. So pop in the sense it removes some number. It is not dependent on indexes, or it doesn't depend on the element itself. Remove might work the same way in the list and set as equal, because in remove the parameter is always an element or a key. Here in set we call the remove is holding a key. In list we say that remove is holding a element. Okay, now here in this case the pop is not having any parameter, it is just popping out something. So to remove some elements, what are the 3 functions now you have seen? Remove using a key. Okay, pop randomly, you just remove something. And discard means it doesn't give an error, but it removes a specified element or a key that is specific, right? So the pop always says that, one second, sir is calling. Sir. Okay, sir. Okay. I did not see the time actually. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So actually the pop says that remove something. If an attender comes to the class and say one person has to be removed from this, randomly I will pick and throw the person, right? I will reduce one element or one key from this class. That means one student is eliminated randomly. Some student I will pick up, and naturally what I pick up, some person who is in the front. I don't get it from the back, right? So hey, you come here and write something on the board. That's why nobody will try to sit in the front bench. Now also you are sitting at the back benches, right? So the same thing happens with the pop. So pop actually removes most of the time the first things that are seen by it. So at the A element the first choose that will be removed first, popped out. Okay, tomorrow we will continue with the set functions.
Sir,
and
then
yeah. tell me.
what's the use of pop, sir, if it's removed some random
Yeah,
elements?
yes. The use of pop is if you want to reduce the size of the set and you are not specific which element to be removed, you can simply say pop. So one element will be, or one key will be eliminated. Okay, only for that I want to use it. For example, if you are having more number of elements or keys in the set and you want to reduce the size of the set, you can simply use pop if you want to pick up a random value to be eliminated. Did you understand?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Then bye bye everybody for today. I'm stopping the